Another Alex Jones video, but I want this one to be serious. I know I joke around, and that's probably inappropriate considering what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to wake people up to the reality of what he's doing. And the really stupid stuff aside, I'd like people to look at key elements about gatekeepers and disinformation professionals. There was that moment in '06 where he went down to the World Trade Center to rile people up with the Geraldo Rivera incident where they get Jones arrested, and go try to find that arrest on the public record. You won't. If he really cared as much as he goes on and on about, if he really, really wanted change, you know, he would organize events. Not just talking and then asking for money. Okay? A real proactive person that wants change goes out and begs people to get involved. He would have videos saying, I'm going to be at this park at this time. You would probably have to go in a bulletproof bubble or something, but still, whatever it takes. He doesn't do anything like that. There are no petitions to the government. You know, there are goofy videos of him going up and hassling a security guard at the Federal Reserve building. And he's got his yahoos just going, yeah, Alex, you know. And that's just all nonsense, you know. He's there as flypaper. And yeah, a lot of the things he says are true. But it's what he doesn't say. And the key elements that he avoids. And it just, they're so glaring, what he doesn't say. And they are important things. When it comes to 9/11, the individuals involved have a very, very real, what do you call it, group association that is undeniable when you're trying to figure out who did it, or at least who knows who did it. The fact that Larry Silverstein and his family was not in the tower is just, there's no reason to believe that he didn't know. And just, when it comes to the realities of the Building 7 collapse, you know, there's enough of that evidence to have a rally where people can get together and protest. But that just wasn't done. It's just people making these movies and saying, buy my DVD. That crazy Jason Burmis even had ringtones saying, buy my ringtone to fight the New World Order. And using words like globalists and New World Order, Illuminati, you just can't do that anymore, because what are you supposed to do with that? And I want reality. I want real, and I want people to do something, get off the couch. I've just been haunted for 11 years, the first time I saw Michael Moore speak on stage in person. And I've done a lot of acting, and I've done a lot of work on film sets and commercial work and stuff. I know when somebody's in a costume. You know, like I'm wearing a costume, but I admit it, you know, because I'm just having this fun little Ted Nugent look. But Michael Moore's dressing like that, this multi-millionaire, just to con people into thinking he's just another couch potato like all of you that's pissed about the government. But, you know, I remember watching the Fahrenheit 9/11, and the footage he had. You don't get footage like that. You don't just get it from somebody you met. That's all. Some of that was just like classified and, you know, off record footage in military surroundings, and it's just as bad as like a WikiLeaks thing. And, you know, Assange, I've always said he was an actor. You haven't seen him, have you, since he's been just out of the picture all this time, and we're supposed to believe he's under house arrest in a mansion. All these things that we're supposed to believe, and the crazy videos that come out showing that the Sandy Hook might have been staged, that the Aurora shooting might have had these glaring inconsistencies, that Gabrielle Giffords, now that I saw. I was far away, but the thing was, if he's blowing off shots, there was no evidence of anything at the store. Like no broken windows. I couldn't see where she went down or anything like that, but listening to her talk in interviews now, it's just, it was the same thing like with Michael Moore. I know when somebody's putting on an act. And Alex Jones is putting on an act. And I know I got some goofy videos saying he's Bill Hicks reincarnated and this and that. I don't know. I have tried to find things out about his background, and there's no way to do it. And some of these photos, supposed photos of him as a kid, are totally photoshopped, like, you know, Barack Obama's birth certificate online, and all these things that are just obvious drama, obvious acting and staged and right in your face, all over the place. And people are just sitting back like they're at a movie theater watching it. You know, I mean, I want people to get together and make a list of these things that are just so glaring that have to be used in a court of law or like a people's trial court that could be held in the middle of the country in Omaha, Nebraska. You know, someone make a strategic plan of where to have these regional courthouses where we could have mock trials to start, and then give it a name, you know, kind of like Occupy was, but give it a name, like, you know, taking them to court, something like that. You know, citizens court. And when we talk about these serious issues and we go point by point and ask anybody who watches that to sign a petition for a real court case, where you're real careful about citing all the constitutional realities that are absolutely blown off any glaring piece of evidence, and to tell the district courts and the Supreme Court, if possible, that if you do not acquiesce to our requests, we're not paying taxes. We're not doing any of these things anymore. And if the more people we could get into a group like that, we can make real change and arrest real criminals. We could say, we want Michael Chertoff arrested. We want Larry Silverstein arrested. You know, we want Dov Zakheim arrested. Just, even Jesse Ventura, Arnold Schwarzenegger. These ridiculous people that we are told are governors of states. Those conspiracy theory TV shows are just to make anybody that gets into these kinds of things into a zone of, ooh, you know, even if it is real stuff, it pacifies. It's a psychological effect. And you'll see Alex Jones on that. You know, I worked with cameras. I know what's required to have an edit with 5 shots for a single, you know, scene where supposedly he just got there and he's standing and talking. 5 shots and lighting and all that. They did it several times, like takes. And they're passed off as real interviews, and it's just not. You know, he was a pro wrestler. I mean, he has no respect for his audience. And just because he's saying half-truths or even a whole truth, you know, the powers that be are pretty confident because history has shown that nobody does anything. And they're always pushing with a little bit more to see how much people will take. And the reason they're going for the guns now is because of the gun sales that went up recently. They were alarmed by that. people are just individually getting themselves armed. And the Obamacare is just, you know, if you do the math on that, that's just, they've done the math. They'll know they'll get a certain amount of money out of the country if they require you to pay for health care. When the whole point of not having health care was because people couldn't afford it. It's all, they do the math, and that's why they build churches as big as they can. Because the more people that put $5 or $10 in that basket that goes around, you know, some of those mega churches, you know how much they make in a single service? You ever thought about it? If 10,000 people gave $10, $100,000 a day. You know how much money that is a year? And nobody gets any of it back. If you're a member of the church and you got a health problem and they're gargantuan rich and you can't pay for your funeral, they're just like, sorry. That's the fraud of all this. You know, Alex Jones is a millionaire. He doesn't put any of his money into anything to help you. He just wants to tell you things that his handlers tell him to tell you, and then he gets money off of it. I just want people to call this kind of stuff out. Enough is enough. There are too many of these people. You know, there's, you know, Julian Assange, that was just so ridiculous. You know, he's just this actor doing this James Bond thing. I remember one interview where every time they cut back to him, his hair was a little different. Which means the whole thing was memorized and he did a few takes. Like if you win the one shot, his hair was one way, then he went to another, it was different, but then the next time it was exactly the same as the first. And it's just so, it's gone too far. I mean, we got the proof. And we just, if we're careful with it, you don't even have to bring the whole shebang in. We just say we want these people arrested and we want this to change, or we're not participating anymore. We don't want the illegal residents who aren't trying to become citizens. Make it very clear what they have to do to become citizens and require that by a certain amount of time. Or they go to prison. You know what happens? Have you ever... There are no illegals in prison. If they hit you in traffic or something, nothing happens. It's bad. They are never arrested for anything. And, you know, I personally discovered these things that they're doing to bring them here, and they pay for their lives. You'll never see an illegal Hispanic begging on the side of the road for money. Their houses are paid for, and they're helped with getting vehicles and jobs. Because the idea is corporate America wants people that cannot sue them to work for them and just do what they're told. Slave culture. The middle class, they're just sick of all their complaints. They want the old school republic life with the rich people and the slave culture. That's what the goal is over the whole world. And they're succeeding. And if you think it's not going to happen to you, and what I just said, if you think it's not going to happen to you, you know, trying to talk like that's what Alex Jones does. But what he does, he has the power to organize groupings and rallies. He's got money. He can do that. Most of us, we're kind of powerless unless we go out on a limb and try to get some kind of a group together. But someone like him, or like a famous rock musician that hates what's going on, I mean, they got a real good reason to be afraid of being killed, but that's the proof. You know, Obama's been arresting people that talk out about things recently. But Alex Jones, there's no one louder than him about the government corruption. Nobody goes after him. There's never... That's the proof. Jesse Ventura, they give him a primetime show exposing it all with all these camera shots, and we're supposed to believe that these are real investigative moments? Yeah, Jesse Ventura is in on it too. And everybody's hurting for money and that's all they really care about. But that's the problem. The money. We could, if we got the country back, we could make everything for free. The necessities. Water, electricity, heat. We could do it. If we all said, no more of this. I don't know, I want to stop being obsessed with Alex Jones, but it's just so frustrating to see what he gets away with. Under the guise of exposing what other people are getting away with. He's getting away with fooling you. And I'm going to do some things that'll expose what I'm talking about, because there are ways to give the proof to the shills, but, you know, I gotta go down to Texas to do that. But I'm sick of this. I want real change, because I know people are pissed, and I know if something started, Occupy showed that it's possible. But then you gotta stop the infighting. It's about demanding grievance redress and criminals being arrested because of absolutely obvious proof. Well, if you like my videos, subscribe, and thanks for watching.